But that is just to say that I haven't taken the step of getting rid of all force mores myself, because I personally, I mean, when I cast Ignition on Vaults 5, I kind of like to see. Ouch. Ooh, okay. Hasting, I don't like that. So we could try and... No, you're not susceptible to polymorph. Good to see. Are you susceptible to Atropa? I don't think you might not be. Let's see. No, you are immune to the blind. That's unfortunate. Come on, Raw Control. We believed in you. Don't let me down. I'll go with a net instead. And then follow up a net with a large rock or two. 73% chance. Do you have any ranged attacks? Or you just have Pain and Symbol of Torment, right? Interesting. Oh crud, you had to go to dinner and Egg Troll died. And in a horrifying fashion as well. Made a joke when it was mentioned earlier that I don't want to talk about it, but yeah. Died with many a blink scroll in my inventory, just trying to fool around and have fun with that Orb Guardian. What was it? Orb Guardian's Demise? Something like that was the Spike Club. Not that I can put all the blame in that. It definitely lies directly on my shoulders when I could have just blinked to the depth stairs and gone the heck out of there. But I didn't think I was one hit away from death. I thought for sure Egg Troll could take a hit. Apparently he's much wimpier than I expected. Totally not my fault or anything. But it's all good. And yeah, thank you, Enon, for sharing that, because that does definitely give people their first step. It gave me my first step in RC editing, and I really enjoyed having it. And hey, Brain, how's it going? Glad to see you again. Hope the last couple days of the tournament went well for you, in terms of having fun or not playing at all, whatever you ended up having time for or doing. For all of the people just coming in more recently here, don't worry, you haven't missed too much, besides me having a little bit of an off day in terms of what I've been forcing these poor trolls to go through. Many a stupid decision, and don't worry if you did miss it, because I'm sure there will be plenty more stupid decisions to come over the rest of today's session. But we're having fun. Heading to bed, glad you managed to catch the stream finally. Hope this is the lucky name. No, thank you so much for the name. I can feel it. It's definitely gonna make the difference here. It's gonna make up for all of my my personal stupidity that we've been dealing with. A good name is all it takes. But have a great night, and yeah, hope to see you around in the future. Happy to have you around. Ooh, and there's the temple. I guess, oh my gosh, I wasn't even paying attention to what we could find around here. Or, sorry, that's not a great description of what I was actually trying to say. I wasn't paying attention to any of the altars that we found thus far into the game, which is silly of me. I got too used to having a deity under our name already. No, very much agree, Safid. It's definitely appropriate to say the least. But let's see. I'm kind of thinking right now, I'm bouncing back around Gozeg, most consistent for me, most likely to come out of it with a win. At least in my experience, if not completely true. Okawaru would definitely play fully into the rock and troll namesake that Safid was just describing there, where we should be gifted a whole lot of large rocks and other kinds of ammunition for our throwing skills, which could be nice and leaves us not having to rely so much on RNG for that side of things. On the other side of it, Uskaya worked amazingly for us last time around, and I never mind repping them. Same with Quaslal, we didn't get a chance to really show off what they're capable of, so we could go back with that again. And what else? Maybe I'll limit myself there, otherwise I could keep listing off options, and in fact we could probably come up with a reason why we could go with almost every altar in this dang temple. So let's see. take a sip of the drink. If anyone in chat would really like to see a specific deity being played, we'd definitely be happy to check it out. I think we have seen a shop. Yeah, a couple even. We didn't go into the armor boutique yet, but Leduvia's ancient armor had pretty much nothing too incredible in it, in fact. So yeah, Cowboy Jim is happy to go with Gozag here, and definitely no complaints from me. At some point, I should try and get a win with somebody other than... But I guess we have. We got a win with, like, Che, and I forget even who else. This series has gone on for a while, especially Halflings. Took so long. So sad. I still feel so bad for all those poor Halfling souls. Actually, while we wait a second to see if anyone else would like to see anything in particular, what I should do is throw a quick dump down and get the seed posted here. I'm so bad at doing this. Always forget. Slips my mind completely every single time. But again, it's important to have this on screen in case, or not in case, but because this will, in fact, be the luckiest run that we've ever experienced. And so, perfect. Yeah, doesn't seem like people are feeling too strongly one way or another about other things, so let's check it out, shall we? Pretty low service fee this early on in the game, and we can get started. It's slightly unfortunate that we don't get the free potion petition that was once a thing, but hey, all things considered, not too bad. Sorry, Safed, I was a little quick on the draw once we got sorted there. Also, stop ice blasting me, you son of a gun. Jib with a wand. I guess she always does have a wand, so that's not saying much, but I should also, and I can't believe I haven't noticed up until this point that we're still using our dagger. Huh. Shows that I'm truly taking my my ideals that I've been saying about trying to be a little smarter. I'm very much taking that promise seriously, as you can see by my stupidity already. Let's get that wizard between us again here. Perfect. And yeah, for the punching, I will have to try Wujian at a later date, Save it. I'll even write that one down. Just for you. We'll make sure to, in a fairly, not recent. What's the future tense of recent? My brain is failing me in a horrible way right now. In an upcoming run, I guess we'll say. We'll make sure to run Wujian and have some fun. In fact, we'll definitely be playing more unarmed characters in the future, so no doubt about that. Makes keep $400 around. Indeed, yeah. For the potion petition, always very important. At least for the consistency that I so laud Gozag for. But let's check out. Is this the ancient antique store or the antique armor? Perfect. Of course, not a whole lot. We're not at 400 yet, so I'm almost tempted to start buying some of these robes already. Okay. That scorpion went towards the barking noise instead of towards where the barking noise was triggered by. Don't mind seeing that whatsoever. And I am hoping that we'll find some more large rocks soon. I've been using them a little haphazardly so far. As I just switch through all my different quivered things, maybe switch over to poison. And yeah, I want to save up for that first potion petition, but we're early on here, and I would kind of like to have another little bit of early AC. Since we're already looking pretty decent between the hat and cloak that we picked up, let's try and run with that, and go with the one red cloak that's available, shall we? Robe of Willpower. Dang. No enchantment in terms of actually getting AC, but I'll happily take a little bit of early willpower. And now we'll probably start saving up officially for the first 400 needed for the potion petition. Onwards, and upwards, or downwards as it were. Oh, unfortunate seeing a nice magical helmet like that. I almost don't want to step over it whatsoever. That way we won't know what we're missing. But here, let's start throwing just normal small rocks, shall we? Even that's doing a decent amount of damage this early on in the dungeon. And I always put them on auto pickup and then end up not really using them. So let's make this run the exception in that regard, shall we? Excuse me, friends. If you'll come with me, just over here, please. Thank you kindly. There we go. Make sure we don't get too surrounded by these early enemies. But throwing rocks is always really nice for just breaking up groups of enemies as they come at us one at a time. Perfect. And we should be up to 400 gold before too long, thanks to Gozeg's love of turning all dead bodies into piles of said gold. In general, I always enjoy Gozeg, if just for that reason. I think I mention almost every time that we end up worshipping them that I know on so many levels that it's almost never worth it to call in shops unless you're extremely desperate for just anything. The way that I've heard it described and that I definitely agree with is that if you're in general just needing everything, you're short on resistances, you're short on defensive capabilities, you have no weapon, then it's kind of worth it to call a shop, because no matter what type of shop you get, you'll more likely to come out of it with something that you need. But otherwise, you'll almost never get exactly what you need out of calling a shop, and it's almost always better to spend that money on potion petitions and stuff like that. But I can't help it usually, but to call at least one shop in, just because there is the gambling side of my brain that can't help but go in for the loot box. Oh geez, hello friends. Let's see, these bushes are gonna break right away, and then those gosh darn bees are gonna surround us. And we all know that you don't want the bees, not the bees, and all that good stuff. So let's try and just retreat out of there, dragging maybe just one bee with us. That's very nice. I'll happily take you upstairs with me, friend. And let's check out our third stairs. Hopefully it's not quite as scary or risky as these first couple. In fact, it's already looking a little bit better. And this floor really doesn't want to give us any nice corridors. I say as we find a corridor. Dang it, game, why do you gotta prove me wrong each and every time? This floor sure looks like it wouldn't have any acquirement scrolls. Definitely not a stack of 3 acquirement scrolls anywhere. Right, game? Though, of course, it would never... As soon as you try and abuse your superpowers, they get taken away. Pretty sure that's just a fact of life. Let's see, Devessa and Doan. I normally like to go about that the other way for sure. Ideally, you kill Doan first, and then you try and just stall until you get past Devessa's rage timer, and then she's slowed. Unfortunately, not the case for us this time around. But we should be able to deal with a fancy wizard. Let's see, Atropa. 48% chance to hit, but an 87% chance to blind. I'll take that bet. I said, I'll take that bet. Game. I'll take that bet? No? Nothing? Oh me, oh my. There we go. Okay. Let's blind that wizard. At least for a little bit, and then just tear him to pieces with our claws. I guess we should have just hit them with our claws, it turns out. Just wasted a bunch of time for absolutely no benefit whatsoever. Love to see it. There we go. We do, of course, have the requisite amount of gold now that we can always dip into our back pocket for some at least half-decent abilities from Gozeg. The more gold we have, of course, the better effects that we can buy off of potion petition. So ideally we have more than 400 gold lying around so that we can, you know, get haste, a couple of different types of heal, that as in curing and heal wounds and the like, but we'll see how she goes. I wouldn't mind at some point pretty soon here going back up to that shop and buying out the rest of those enchanted robes. And in fact, what I should be doing here... No, excuse me. I know I didn't say it explicitly, game, but obviously we wanted to go down this way. Stand on the stairs, and let us read some scrolls. Perfect. We do have 9 identify right off the bat here, which you love to see. I'll actually immediately inscribe these, and this is actually another thing that you can get to be done automatically through your RC file changes, that is auto inscriptions, but we'll inscribe that with @R1. That way we can just hit R, then the 1 key, and it makes it way easier. You don't have to remember any of the letters or anything. And perfect, we did manage to identify our heal wounds potions. And otherwise, I might wait for higher stacks of potions and switch over to reading what some of these scrolls do. Gain teleportation nice and early is always nice if we have to escape. And we'll hold on to... Oh, scroll of acquirement. Holy cow. Okay, well, all I was going to say is that we'll hold on to 1 ID scroll for if we get a higher stack of potions. That might be our curing, and I'd like to get that identified as soon as possible. But scratch all of that because we got a scroll of acquirement. So let's read this right off the bat here and see what we get. Gold pieces always becomes a lot better as an acquirement when you're worshipping Gozeg because you can put it to much better use, and you're never going to get to the situation where you have, you know, far more gold than you're possibly able to spend in shops. We can always just spam potion petition like crazy. Let the int items shower us from the heavens. Unfortunately, not this run, it looks like. At least not yet. Just you wait, Sapid. We might still get there, but it's not to say I'm unhappy with this because I'll probably grab an early tower shield. It's scary that it's of the ego because I do worry that it's going to cause us to run to the usual levels of hubris and overconfidence, which, as we know, is a slow and insidious killer. So, names scare me, of course, but I don't think we can go with anything else there. Not really much to use. The gold amount isn't enough for me to make it worth it. And no, yes, Cowboy Jim, I definitely agree. And Safid, yeah. Not really too much of a debate on that one. But we can immediately pop into our skill training. Let's start getting that up. So much better, again, on a large creature like a troll, if just because we only have to get up to the 15 that's normally required for kite shields. We should be able to get that baby online pretty soon here. And having an early tower shield before we'd normally have a chance to find one is definitely nice. What about you, Erica? You're very scary. I should have taken a look a little bit before we went into on this. Only a 15% chance to blind you. You have an Ice Blast wand. You do have a +2 robe of willpower, which I want, of course. Should we see who has the better Ice Blast wand? Just start blasting each other left and right. Main issue being, of course, that she has crazy poison and confuse and slow. Probably should just run. But we have 24 charges on our Ice Blast. We have a net. Let's see the odds of hitting with a net. The nice thing about that, of course, is that if you net any spellcasters, they spend far too many turns just trying to escape their net instead of slinging spells like they should. I'm going to try 1 net throw. Okay, didn't work. That's fine, that's fine. Then we can run away just a wee bit here. Play it a little bit safer than I otherwise might, because I did promise at the start of this run that we might try and be less silly about it and instead play a little bit safer. But we will be back for sure to take Erica on here. Especially if the rest of the floors here continue in that kind of trend of running into things that are far scarier than we'd like to face. Can always go back up. DCSS is a fun puzzle game where you're just trying to find the area of least resistance in any given situation. And let's see, for Orc Warrior, I am going to switch over to our rock, ideally killing the mage or the wizard if we miss. Dang it, we definitely missed a whole bunch. That's fun. Let's see, Atropa, what are my odds on you? Not great to hit, but great to blind, so we'll do that for sure. And just tab our way through the rest of those bad boys. Perfect. First yak. Alone, weirdly enough. And this is what we shouldn't do. Never charge off exploring more of the dungeon while slowed down. That's just asking for it. We also don't have curing yet, but we did gain a double stack potion, which is curing. Perfect. That makes me feel better about taking on these bees. Even if we get lethally poisoned now, we at least have an out. Not that this is going great by any stretch of the imagination. I might actually turn myself into a tree to start out first. Let's see here. 10 damage. So I'm happy to keep swinging away. Perfect. Didn't want to waste any of our curing or heal wounds unless we absolutely had to. Oh my gosh. More bees. Oh god, not the bees. Please, not the bees. And of course, an orc warrior to boot. Never a dull moment here in the dungeon. Oh, drank a berserk potion. Well, at least they're blind. Let's blind them again, please. Perfect, we were able to do so. As soon as that berserk wears out, it's actually a big advantage to us because they will be slowed. This is probably a situation where I should just keep running. There we go. Said slow is in effect, so let's actually gain some distance and then I can switch over to other thrown weapons, starting with some poison here, maybe. Apparently not. Of course, game doesn't want me to look too intelligent here. That would go against my entire brand. So instead, let's keep throwing curveballs. But perfect. That Atropa is definitely coming in handy here and taking care of some of these early threats. And indeed, here's probably another good example of a place to use it here. Only 46% chance of taking effect, but that's still half decent. Perfect. Helps us take out a slightly out of depth troll. And let's get the poison stacks flowing. Oh gosh. Sir, I wasn't paying attention. Don't sneak up on me like that. Well, let's put on our resist corrosion ring, since I should have done that already. Same with this dex ring. I don't know what I've been thinking this whole time. And unfortunately, didn't get an early acid dragon scales, which is definitely what we were hoping for there. Would have given us a nice little bonus to our AC once more here, but it is what it is, and so we must just continue. And another troll, hey, friends? I thought I was the only troll here. I thought I was the only one. But that is all good. We also managed to get a couple more ID scrolls, so let's figure out what the heck else we have in our inventory. In fact, perfect. Getting the blinking scroll ID'd is always a huge advantage. So I get scared of that obsidian statue. What the heck are you doing up here, bud? What a weird floor this has been. And a two-headed ogre? Game, please. Stop. Stop, game, he's dead. Do I want to just fight Erica? I think I might just want to fight Erica. Oh, speaking of which, hello. Because let's see here. We have a couple of options. We could try for a couple of large rocks. We could go for just blasting with Ice Blast. That's a bit redundant, but we could go with Ice Blast here and just try and hit with unavoidable damage, take care of the problem, and nip her in the bud here. In fact, if we take a look, it's 3d7. So in an ideal world, we kill her in 4 hits. No, actually, 3 hits exactly. With perfect rolls, 3 hits kills her. Odds on darts are not great. Atropa, yeah, was slightly better now, but 32%. So it's not horrible, I guess, at the very least. Because I never turned off stealth. That's funny. So it is slightly better than the last time we were here. Turns out training stealth was maybe slightly better. Or not horrible at the very least. Also, wait a second. Now it's 15? Was I aiming at the frog before? No. Now it's 24. Now it's... what? Does anyone know what's going on here? If I go in from different sides, it must be an average, hey? Maybe it's just each time and it doesn't matter which side. Okay, it's just an average. That's wild. Well, I still don't like my odds there. Not looking great. So, I think Ice Blast is the way to go. Unless there's anything else in my inventory that I want to start with. Large rocks might be nice. In fact, I might just see the odds of hitting with a large rock, because I think that that deals slightly more damage. 61% chance. Meh. Just blaster. At least try it out, and this way we can also try and take out the frog at the same time, of course, which is nice. Okay, so close. Ouch, that Force Lance hurts real bad. But perfect, ain't no thing, and that allows us to immediately switch for her robe, which is much better than our current one. Unfortunately, doesn't look much better, but it still is more effective, of course. And it's not the blue robe that's a problem on its own. On top of that, of course, it is just the fact that it clashes with our hat. And we do hold fashion to be supreme in the dungeon, of course. Let's get the halberd white in front of the pack here. Perfect. Don't want that buddy stabbing us from behind. But AC 11 on a troll is nice. Indeed it is. Oh geez, let's not tab fight in front of an electric eel with no resistances. There we go, much better. But no, a ridiculously good start for our troll, to say the least, for sure. As much as I would have liked to get the Acid Dragon scales as well, not quite necessarily. Not completely necessary, I should say. Let's not repeat too many words in the same sentence. Again, redundancy is not something I love in my vocabulary. Also, another two-headed ogre. So this is what ended our last roll run here, was an early two-headed ogre. Can use the gold distraction for a second here, lay on an early hit. Depending on how that rolled, we could have maybe gone a little bit fancy with things here. We don't have Curari this time. What do we have at our disposal? Decent amount of poison. We could see how a Tropa would do against this buddy in the future, even though I'm guessing not as well as I would like. Nope, not even close. So we will keep the yak as a little bit of a shield. Troll, please. Sir, please stop. No, up, please. Thank you. And let's just try and blind this troll, shall we? Oh, is it not going to work this time? Oh, that's fun. Well, fortunately, this is a mostly explored floor, and we didn't have to leave anyone behind here, so we are able to do the age-old classic of just keep dancing around the pillar here. Large pillar in this case, obviously, but it should work out, and perfect. There we go with the blind. Let's make sure we don't go down the same set of stairs like a complete fool. Was there an unexplored stairway still? There was. Let's try that out. Oh, fun. What a wild ride this has been already. Sonya is a pain in the butt, especially with a distortion blade. So let's see, we could get one free hit with something right now. And then we do at least have a lot of Ice Blast charges. That will potentially be our saving grace against Sonya here. She has low health, so unavoidable damage reigns supreme. But let's see, suggestion to blind her, 56% chance. Alternatively, let's just check real quick. A large rock, 98% chance to hit. Can potentially, I think it might be able to kill her in one hit. So I do like the idea to blind her, and it might even be the better idea, but I'm going to risk one rock throw followed by a couple Ice Blasts, and that should do the trick as well. Perfect. I guess the issue there being that if I mulched a large rock, it's much more of a waste than losing just an Atropa dart. But that is all good, because we didn't mulch it. It's never didn't have it. Let's just keep identifying our stuff as we go here. I'm very much running the risk of immediately falling prey to that same two-headed ogre. I was hoping to find our lair entrance pretty relatively quickly at the very least here. I guess luckily, actually now that I think about it, killing Sonya gave us Curari darts. So let's immediately put them to use. Boulder beetles are weak to poison, so we should be able to stack up a decent amount of poison as they slowly tumble towards us. Perfect. And we'll also do a similar thing. As long as we have Curari darts to spare, I will do the similar thing to the troll here. Starting off the journey nice and right, maybe going back to Atropa here as well. Perfect. A whole kinds of darts. Darts of all flavors going into our enemies here. Where's that two-headed ogre? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? We at least have a nice amount of money in our back pocket here, so we could potion petition the crap out of Gozeg if necessary. But let's get the slow going on this son of a gun. And maybe a couple large rocks. Making sure to take advantage of that slow while it's still in effect. Get some more distance. Switch back to Curari. 77% chance to hit. Perfect. Shield's training is just at 5.9, so if we take a look, we can hit the @ sign. Our current attack delay is 0.7. If we put on the shield, it goes up to an average of 1, so we'd still be hitting once per turn, which is actually probably pretty good in exchange for 20 shield stat. I'd say that that's actually worth it for now. Especially considering the fact that we immediately go up against a ranged opponent here. Curari isn't quite as straightforwardly useful because this buddy does have really bad range. And yeah, you mentioned the evasion drop, Cowboy, and if we take a look, without it, we're up to 10. So we dropped 3 evasion in exchange for 20 shielding. Which I personally like shielding, just because it is more consistent. But let's definitely try and blind Joseph here. Sir? There we go, on our very final Atropa dart, we're able to do so. And then I probably will just close the gap. In the meantime, turns out we probably could have just closed the gap the whole time, but better safe than sorry, of course. And another two-headed ogre. We've lost one of our Curari darts already, which you don't love to see. But yeah, no, and that Atropa still not looking great. In fact, let's slow this buddy for longer, switch over to our other poison darts maybe, and we'll just stack up some poison on this bad boy, make the dungeon do our work for us, and that should just about do it. Ooh, not quite, unfortunately. Let's see. One large rock left, 77%. Never didn't have it, and didn't mulch it, which is good. Ideally, we're getting close to the stage in the game where we'll be able to collect some large rocks of our own. Also, okay. No, the lair could be next floor. Okay, we're not quite at D11. I thought we might have missed the lair based on that tiny section of D8, D9, wherever that was, that we had to ignore for the time being. Let's see, how much health do the shadows have? 24? I'm gonna switch over to blasting with the ice wand here. At least getting it low enough. Probably unnecessary, but it's nice to have unavoidable damage of some kind. Ooh, wand of acid on Maurice, hey? Let's, again, I guess, check on a couple of things here. You can see where our Tropa's at. Pretty good chance to blind, so I think I will do so right away. And let's try to just stack on some poison on the son of a gun. Switch back to Atropa. Switch back to poison. And not paying attention to when the blind status wears off. It definitely should be, but there we go, no problems. So far doing alright in terms of taking out uniques. Oh fun, it hit a Hydra. That's exactly what I wanted to face. Let's see, lots of Ice Blast. If it comes up to us, we're probably dead. But if we can kill it from a distance, we're in decent shape. We at the very least have one scroll of blinking if we have to get out of there in a hussy or in a hurry. Does Ice Blast slow? It has a chance to. In my experience, not nearly as often as I would like. But yeah, ideally it does include the chance to slow, just based on the fact that it's ice damage. So we can try a couple hits here, and as long as we retreat before it becomes a problem, we can always outpace the Hydra, or at least keep pace with the Hydra, I should say. Yeah, not quite as well as I thought it would in terms of the efficacy of that Ice Blast. We didn't get any slows, which sucks, so I think we'll retreat for the time being, make sure that we keep engaging at that full range if we do want to keep engaging. Can maybe try... Oh, what the heck. I hate when that happens. I navigate the menus in weird ways and things get tripped up, but we get lucky with some energy change here, and then unlucky, and let's just see if we can't get it back. Again, we might take some hits in doing so, but we can take one turn of hits. The only issue is I don't want to go upstairs with this bad boy. And of course, we get the random energy at the worst possible moment. I would like to just go up to that stair, but if it doesn't work out, do we have an escape plan? Yes, we could go there. Okay, let's go for it. Perfect. There we go. So yeah, basically, sometimes if you're in the X menu and then I pop out of it when I don't mean to, I end up doing some stupid things by accident, of course. But let's see, I'm willing to give this one more shot, and then we'll probably just have to retreat the heck out of here for the time being. We do have that little bit of floor to explore upstairs, which is good. This is looking better, at least. Perfect, okay. So I'm guessing that Hydra was guarding the entrance to Lair. Could be wrong. But that would be my assumption here. And that's fun. An unseen horror is a bit of a pain in the butt. But not the end of the world here. We deal... Oh, geez, the unseen horror was blocking off my retreat there as I tried to actually walk away from the fight. Go's Egg's gold distraction is always super handy for running away from enemies. If you're just able to kill a few of them, they will start to get distracted and leave you behind, which is nice. Also turns out it wasn't guarding the entrance to Lair. Huh. Wild. That's too bad. Okay, and a Cyclops. Probably not great odds to blind you. Could go for Curari, but that's slowing it. It's not quite enough. The main issue is getting hit by its rocks. Let's see. Can I keep this orc in my way? Probably not. If I do this, I'm guessing I kill the orc by accident, or by default. That's fine. Can survive one, definitely one, probably 2 or 3 rocks. They get tossed our way. Might just use the extreme poison of Curari to stack up really quick. Perfect. And that gives us some more large rocks back, finally, which is exactly what we need. I think, right? Oh, not as many as I would have liked, unfortunately. But that is fine. Let's take these lovely fellows on a merry little jaunt down here. And slowly but surely, we are making progress continually here. Why not? He only has one eye. Blinding is how DCSS beat them. You're not wrong. And there's no way he makes that shot. Not with one eye. Unfortunately, in my experience, not always the case. Always a lot scarier than it might otherwise seem. Okay, the poison on Snore Cure I'm hoping will be enough. I'll probably switch back to Curari and give that one more shot as well. Perfect. We are slowly but surely running out of Curari darts, of course, but not the end of the world. There's our lair entrance. Perfect. I also don't think that I'll use the short bow, but might as well look at it. It does have a whole lot of egos on it. If I wasn't using a shield, I'd almost use that as a stat stick. Just give us, like, flying and resistance to poison. But let's maybe check out our lair. The main issue with going into the lair is always, what are you going to do with Hydras, of course. We do still have a decent number of Ice Blast charges. We have Flame Burst if we need it, plus our throwing could start being leveled up here. Let's see, if we look at our speed, we're still at about 1 attack speed. But I might turn off unarmed combat, or at least stop focusing it for a bit, and start focusing down throwing. Get that up to snuff here. Let's try it out. Immediately, an 8-headed Hydra. Let's see, we could Condenser Vein. How are our skills? Yeah, so we were just taking a look at them there. Decent unarmed. Fighting is getting up there. Shields is slowly but surely making its way up, even though it's not hindering us too much. It's definitely why I wanted to start training throwing. Just to get a bit of another solution to these gosh darn Hydra pals. And let's see, Condenser Vein probably wouldn't be a horrible selection here. I'm gonna try it out. Ooh, we do get Cold Clouds. That is very nice. So I'd prefer not to leave an 8-headed Hydra at the stairs here. Though I also don't want to die to one. Perfect. That's the ideal situation. Let's just do neither.